I am here, and also my features because we're having two conversations at the same time. Okay. Hi. Welcome to the stream. Let me see. I think I fixed it. Um. Uh. Uh. No, I fixed the stream. Okay, I fixed the stream. No question mark. I'm getting distracted. But I am not opposed to that. Welcome. I'm getting distracted in a completely different setup. So yeah, welcome on in again. I think we're working. We're going. We're going. Okay. All right. Let's try this again, shall we? Um. So for those of you who were here a minute ago, um, my stream just kind of decided to go kaput. My computer decided it was done. It had basically a fit of the vapors. Um, so there's that. Um, yeah, my computer had an attack of the vapors and decided it needed to restart. Which fine. I understand it's hot out and computers are more susceptible to heat than people, and I don't have a great cooling system. What I have set up right now is I have it up on my computer up on the block, so it's off the desk, which is precarious in the balancing of it. But that, and I put an ice pack, not actual water ice, because I'm not that stupid anymore. But it's a essentially an ice pack. Um, which basically I'm settling but not directly under. It's underneath so that there's a little bit of a heat sink there. I don't know if that'll help, but sorry, my ear is itchy. It should help a little bit. Um, 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 yeah. Um, uh, um, okay. So, yes. Um, yeah. No. I already reopened it on my own because I'm smart like that. You're okay. It's offering to open up my PDFs that I had closed when the computer shut down, and I said, well, actually, I already reopened the one. You could reopen it, but I already reopened it. But okay, 125. So we're gonna. This is a cursed stream, but we're gonna try to stream anyway because I'm trying to actually, do a little bit more streaming. We might do a reboot. So for those of you who are here a minute ago, hi, my name is Lee. I'm going to delete the video from a little bit before just because it was maybe 10 minutes and then my computer decided to throw a conniption and pass out. So my computer shut down essentially midway through and the stream. And I'm midway through the stream, actually fairly early into the stream. I want to say less than 20 minutes, certainly. So I feel like, and everything, we hadn't even really started going over anything. All I was saying was that we were talking about Cyberpunk Red Skills. I remember this. You were all there, hypothetically. We're talking about Cyberpunk Red Skills and what we were doing, because I already have enough complications with putting the videos up that have when things shut down, and I'm trying to avoid that when I put it up on YouTube. So what I'm going to do when I put it up on YouTube is just put this second half. So essentially, we're talking about the things, and there's a methodology of I think modifying a task. Sometimes conditions beyond your control may make it hard to perform tasks. For example, a simple TV9 skill check is a whole order of magnitude tougher during an earthquake. These external conditions are called modifiers. When GM decides that modifier applies to your skill check, you will subtract the modifier value from your roll. See, you're not even. It's not even like, um. Well, I suppose that is. You're rolling at a minus whatever. Okay. Um, but you could just up the DV. Like you'd say, okay, well it's a plus 10 to the DV, and I think that would be if you have something like a difficulty value that's external to the roll. Because for um, something like Call of Cthulhu, or like a D100 system like Call of Cthulhu or Death Watch, which have very similar mechanics, you can't do that. You can only modify the roll, or the value is inherent in the thing. But if it's externally imposed like this, you can just change it. It's more like a 5e setup where you can just make the DC whatever you need to do. So if the task is more difficult because earthquake, just throw on 20 to the DV or whatever. Maybe not 20, but like, well, I guess it depends on what you're adding to. But if you can add whatever penalty you feel necessary as GM, which is generally how it goes, you can. And most games like Pathfinder will give you like a list of this is what modifier you add when to make it more difficult, and what the DCs are in very specific circumstances. And most GMs ignore that anyway, and just kind of go with what they feel. I think. I don't know for sure. There's probably some GMs who carefully consider that, but um, okay. Apparently, it decided not to run an ad. Oh no, it did. Never mind. Give me a sec. I need more water anyway. Ugh. All right. Bob. Perfect timing. Welcome back, everyone. My name is still Lee, and yay. All right. So, all right. Boom. But what I was gonna say was, I got my side is a dude. Okay. So, yeah, I would say it makes more sense to throw the make the difficulty value higher. If you want a system where you're just declaring um um yeah. All right. Um yeah. Yeah. Complementary skills make sense, and having another character roll a complementary skill. Mm, it's good. Um yep. Um there are attempts made if you don't have it, just basic, relying just on the stat. Always a good setup. Um I would argue, there are. I like the trained and untrained theory dichotomy, but thinking you can always try. It was an interesting one. And then using your luck point system, which, um, um, yeah, um, okay, um, yeah, but you have to use it before you roll. I might actually there would be interesting house rule that you can add it after, but it's at twice as much. So If you want a +1 on your roll after you roll it, like you're 1 away, you can use 2 luck points for every +1 in the roll. But if you do it after, you have to, if you do it after, you have to add +2. But if you do it before, you can add +1, but you might not need it. Interesting. Now I have critical success. On roll 10 on 10, you scored a critical success. Roll another d10 and add the result to the first roll. You can have another critical success. When you roll not 1 on your d10, you've got a critical failure. Roll another d10 and subtract the result from your stat and skill in the first roll. I rolled a 1. Last time I played Cyberpunk Red, it was a con game. I rolled a 1. And then I rolled a 10 on the d10 to subtract. So, you know, it was just the worst possible roll. We failed miserably. It was great. Okay. So you talk about the different skills. Alright. Social skills, cyber tank, and it has a... If you have a base 10, which means your skill ranks plus whatever your stat is, plus whatever your stat is adds up to 10. And stats can't be higher than 8 to start. Alright, so yeah. Yeah. So base 10 means you're adding 10 to your roll, which means you can't roll less than an 11, essentially. And archery, bribery, yeah. How long it takes and how difficult things are to repair. It depends on how expensive they are. Draw sculpt. So they choose paint, draw, sculpt as tech. In 5e, it's usually run as charisma, which I think actually makes more sense as tech. It's it's a technique. It's a using tools. In this case, the tool is paintbrush or pencil, but it's a tool. It's manipulating a specific tool for a specific purpose. Yeah. At base 10, you could do you can make money as a commission artist, essentially, and roll a bit at least. In the 2020s, that was how which is the last release of the game. In Time of the Red, the lack of structure and steady jobs means the role is more of a self-defining title. Personal job description. Automatically begin their role ability at rank 4. Yeah. Yes. Multi-classing roles. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so you have at least 4 ranks your previous role, and, okay. Alright. Okay. Is multi-classing for Soul into Nomad. Is rank 4, which means to jump to Nomad is perfectly legal. Spends improvement points needed and purchase the Nomad role ability. Moto at rank 1. Picks a ground bike for his first vehicle. From that point on, Jay can spend improvement points to increase either the role abilities, combat awareness, or Moto. If down the road he wants to adapt a third role, demise Nomad role ability Moto to rank 4 first. Okay. All right. So yeah, you start automatically with the roll ability at rank 4, and then you can rank up from there. Okay. And then they have the exacto. Alright. Okay. So that's the system by which Cyberpunk. And if you're a little confused, Cyberpunk Red is this tabletop RPG. I've been poking through it um on stream, sharing with all the peeps in the world to try and uh, show what you can do. Um, um, well, interface, and then you can do different um, what you're allowed to do, maker, what you can make, um, and then yeah. When Meditech increases the medication rank, they choose one of the following of 3 Meditech specialties: surgical, pharmaceuticals, and cyber cryosystems operation to allocate 1 point to. Pharmaceuticals, 1 point in the medical tech skill up to maximum of 10. Medical tech skill in the text is the tech skill used to operate, understand, and repair, as other non-vehicle tech skills, medical machinery. This skill is only available to Meditechs and only through either this medicine specialty or cryosystems operation. You can only put a maximum of 5 points into the specialty. Um, um, 2 points of surgery in the surgery skill. Surgery skill is a tech skill used to treat the most severe critical injuries as well as implant cyberware, and is only available to Meditechs through this medicine specialty. Okay, so if you put um um each time you allocate a point into pharmaceuticals, you also gain access to one of the following pharmaceuticals, and you can synthesize it whenever you need it. Can make a number of doses from 200 Eurobucks of materials equal to their medical tech skill in 1 hour. Can't synthesize street drugs with medical tech pharmaceuticals, but something like, I don't know, ibuprofen. You can say, if you have 200 Eurobucks of chemicals, you can synthesize something like acetaminophen. Yeah, you can synthesize acetaminophen. Um, medical tech skill. Applying a single dose drug. The target takes an action. If the target is unwilling, the Meditech can use their action attempt to make a melee weapon attack with their air hypo against the target. That administers a single dose to their target on a hit instead of dealing damage. And then, they have a bunch. Let's see. When injected with a dose of antibiotic, the target has already started the natural healing process. Heals an extra 2 hit points every day for a week. The person can only benefit from 1 use of antibiotic at a time. Rapid detox. Injected to a dose of rapid detox, a target who is affected by a drug, poison, or intoxicant is immediately purged of the effects of that substance. If that's a poison, that's a good thing. If it's a drug, it's like Narcan, I think, kind of. Speed heal. When injected with a dose of speed heal, the target who is not mortally wounded state immediately heals the amount of HP equal to their body plus will. The person can only benefit from 1 use of speed heal per day. It's antibiotic. Let's see. 1 dose and you're good. You get a long-term extra boost. BTL is a 1 and done. You can only do it once. Stim. When injected with dose of stim, target can ignore all penalties from being seriously wounded. State for 1 hour. Person can only benefit from 1 use of stim per day. So that makes you ignore the damage and keep going anyway. Especially if you've already had your speed heal for the day and you're back at it, you're like, alright, we'll try a stim. Surge. When injected with the dose of surge, a target can function unimpaired without sleep for a full 24 hours. Yep. So once per week, you can just binge the good stuff and push through, and you don't have any of the negative side effects of going without sleep, which is very helpful. Let's see. Not a medtech cannot administer pharmaceuticals correctly. These aren't street drugs. They require training to get the medically correct proportions. You have to dose them right and such. So, what if I did that? now I can see the whole thing. Okay. And then let me just tweak it on this end. Oh. Okay. We're gonna have to... I put it above. There we go. Not ideal, but maybe. I did that. Okay, that's pretty, and then put it back down under there. All right, we're tweaking. It requires a lot of subtlety getting the displays right, and it's a pain in the ass. So yeah, it's fun. And I um uh um is okay. All right. So, oh, I should probably plug this back in. I pulled the power source out of the computer after it shut down. After it when it did its restart, because I was afraid it was going to fully shut down. It's done that before. And then if it's fully shut down and drawing power, that's not good for anyone. But if it's up and operating and drawing power, that would be better. Um. That's the problem with shows. The librarian hours are right when I'm streaming, and I... Oh dear. Anyway, my point being, keep going. Uh, cryo system operation. 1 point in meditech skill, up to maximum of 10. The medical tech is a tech skill used to operate, understand, and repair medical machinery. This is only available in meditechs and only through either this medicine specialty or pharmaceuticals. You can only put a maximum of 5 points in this specialty, which gives you 5 points in medtech, and then you get 5... Oh, I see. So you get access to one of these every time you put a skill in, and your medical tech skill also goes up, and you get access to one of these. All right. DV13 to make it. So essentially, you can learn to make one of these every time you put a thing in, and you get a point in the medical tech skill. Okay, I gotcha. Um, um, right. So, and you can also, and it's a maximum of 10. So medical tech, okay, yeah. So you get a, you can't. It's a maximum of 10. So you can do 5 from here and 5 in cryo system. That's point a pop. That's, yeah, that tracks. Okay. All right. Okay. Um, uh, cryo pump. All right. So, okay. So you get a cryo pump. You become a registered cryo tank technician and gain 24 access to one cryo tank at a time with any cryo tank facility operated by medical operations or government agencies. You can flash your badge and get it. Okay. Yeah, you can have access to one at a time. I suppose you could make a deception check to get more than one at a time at different facilities if you wanted to play that. But all right, 3 points. You can have your own F 3 points. 2 more cryo tanks can fit in the same room as your first one, so you can have 2 charges. So you can get you can add more. You can just get more cryo tanks, personal ones installed. 5 points, you gain 3 more cryo tanks, and cryo tank has 3 charges. Okay. So what is... Hang on. Is there an explanation of what cryo tanks do? So, oh. Haha. 353. Beautiful. Okay, what is a cryo? Okay, we're gonna take a small detour to 353. Wait, is it 353 or 253? 353. Okay. There's a lot of pages, but come on. Should be. There we go. Cryo tank. Okay, here we go. Cryo pump. Briefcase-sized tool containing a body bag hooked to a powerful pump. Once a willing unconscious targets have been placed in the bag and hooked up to the pump, as an action, forces a hyper-cooled chemical fluid into the bag, draining one of the charges per target to put in stasis. One person if the cryo pump can accept multiple people. One per person if the cryo pump can accept multiple people. While in stasis, targets are unconscious and no longer rolling death saves for up to a week as long as they remain inside the bag, and the bag has at least 1 HP. So I guess you could start, shooting at it and destroy it, and then character in cryopump bag is considered to be behind a piece of cover. It has 15 HP. Okay, so that's 15. So bag's transparent top and gloves molded into the lining allow the target to undergo surgery and be stabilized while in stasis, which is much less dangerous to the patient. Cryopump is only one charge and can hold a single, roughly human-sized target. Refueling costs 50 euro bucks per charge, and if you need to be a meditech who knows what they're doing with this. Cryotank is a human-sized container which can hold a fully grown adult, assuming the meditech successful. One person stasis as long as desired. So you can transfer them. Essentially, it's a DV13 medical check to transfer them from the cryo pump to the cryo tank, and then you can just keep them indefinitely. Whereas a cryo pump is up to a week. Yes. You can keep them there for up to a week. Plus, if you transfer them over to a cryo tank, you can then put someone else in the cryo pump bag. Yeah, so I'm guessing if it's a cryo tank, succeeds at a DV13 medical check. So that's probably the transfer check. While in cryo tank, they're considered to be unconscious, but heal at double normal rate as long as they remain inside the tank, and the tank has at least 1 HP. So they start healing. Yes. Yeah, so this cryo pump will keep them from rolling death saves. And you can undergo surgery, which makes it less risky. Yeah. So you're stable. You don't need to do death saves. You can get surgery, which is easier. And you can keep someone stable for up to a week. A cryo tank, you can heal while they're in cryo. And it's twice as much HP, so it's twice as hard to break. Essentially, heal at double normal rate. So they could heal while unconscious, and then you can pull them out. I don't know if you have to roll a second check to pull them out or not, which I. So if you have Cyberdeck Standard, and there's Cyberdunk Excellent, good one, and then there's Poor Quality, which is a cheap-ass secondhand one that you snagged. That's for Cyber... Okay. That's for Cyberdeck. Okay. So we're going to go back to the other page. So that's what the Meditechs do. Okay, so that's Meditech. And then the credibility of the media role. Big impact on the story and campaign. Corporate guards can be easily and painlessly replaced, but a higher rank of credibility in media can make a corporation feel hurt by going to the wall to get the truth. They may retaliate, but when you document in your next tell-all book, they'll feel even more pain. And with credibility, if they can't discredit you, and they can't silence you, and you won't cut a deal, and you won't go away, you can make real change. As a media, it's within your power to give you a bad story a good ending. Okay. So this is what... so we get rumors, access sources represents what you can reasonably get in touch with, interview, or otherwise gain information from. Audience, how many people your stories or exposés can reach. Believability, how well your story or expose goes down with your audience. The higher your credibility, the more likely people will believe something you have written or broadcast. Roll a d10 based on your believability when you publish a story, anytime you find out whether an individual or group of individuals believed your story. If your story contains even a single piece of verifiable evidence that is easily understood by the masses, the chance your audience will believe it is one higher. If it contains more than 4 distinct verifiable pieces of hard evidence, the chance your audience will believe it is 2 higher. These 2 bonuses stack with each other. Luck can never be spent on a believability check. How much change any individual story or revelation you publish has on your audience. For example, a story about an unfair economic practice at an incremental level might just get a few local bosses to change their practices, but at higher levels of credibility or exposure will cause entire megacorps to fall. Your GM will handle this. Once you publish a story/scoop, you cannot publish another story on the same exact topic unless you have new information to add to the conversation. So ranks 1 and 2, so what you can get access to audience, immediate neighborhood, 2 out of 10 chance for the audience buys it. Change created by a story scoop is small, incremental. Small-time bad guys are scared and may change their ways a little. You got a city gang, minor politician, corporate exec, well-known person in the neighborhood. You're well-known as contributed to local stream sheet or data pool. 3 out of 10 chance, and then change created by a scoop story is a direct effect. Local small-time bad guys get arrested or thrown out of power. Justice gets served. Major city player, city politico, local celebrity. Your stuff goes citywide. You're a regular columnist or contributor to local scream sheets or TV. 4 out of 10 chance the audience will buy it. Chance created by a story scoop to change things over all the city. Higher level bad guys may be jailed or thrown out of power. Local laws may even get passed. Rank 7 and 8. So you start at rank 4. Credibility rank 1 and 2 then. So if you start at rank 4, credibility rank 2 only then applies if you become a media after you gain... Wait a second. If you start at rank 4, that means you can multi-class right away. Alright. I dig it. Rank. But you can't split it, so... Okay. 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 I gotta keep an eye on the time. I'm going into more detail on these ones because I get a chance to. So I have a little more time. Basically, every time I do a Cyberpunk Red, I'm gonna sit and dig a little deeper into different aspects, and then eventually I have to make characters, but I'm holding off on that until I get a really good sense of how the system works, how the different variants work. So media is more interesting on a long-term campaign, but the access to sources would be useful for short-term goals. The more stuff is more for long-term campaigns, which makes sense. One-shots are, one-shots always run differently in terms of what you use, and what you... long-term stuff. It seems to have a lot of long-term stuff that helps, which is good. Or at least media specifically is all long-term. Statewide, minus 11 in your own right. Okay, 5 out of 10, 50-50. Over several cities. In-level corporations, the government may be thrown out of power, and laws may be passed that affect people in several cities. So, at credibility grade 9, you can divisible corp head, state political, well-known celebrity, who are now known across many across the country, but not everyone. They've seen you. Chances are national news feed. And then rank 10, 6 out of 10 chance the audience buys it. 70% at rank 100. Major world leader. So at rank 10, you can get an article with like a president. Corporation head, world famous celebrity. They're known worldwide. Must not be for autographs. People in high places use you to leak important stuff. Change created by a story scoop can change things all over the world. Megacorps and powerful governments may fall or be overthrown. International laws may be established. Change can affect millions. Okay. What if I get fired? Here's interesting. Getting fired sucks, but even as a starting character, you aren't just anybody. An executive lawman with skills is always in demand. Get yourself out of there, and you'll have another gig in less than a week. In times like these, the labor market has been flipped on its head. Not many people can do the job an exec or anyone willing to be a lawman can do the job of an exec, and anyone willing to be a lawman is high demand. Learn from the experience and get your good with your new boss so that you don't have this do this again for a while. Your agent is bound to start blooming up with calls from headhunting fixers by lunch. Nothing about your role ability changes when you get fired. Think of it as an opportunity for character development as you and your GM work together to figure out just who wants to hire you and what the onboarding process looks like. As for your former employer, consider that an opportunity too. Just how much revenge do you want, Chumbo? And what happens if you blab some of their secrets? Interesting. Ooh, teamwork. Just like a real corporate executive, the exec builds a team whose members help them accomplish their goals, whether or not legal or not, morale permitting. Exec role is teamwork. At teamwork rank 1, as gift, the executive is given a suit of comprised of business wear, jacket, top, bottom, and footwear. Identify them as the member of the Ballista Elite. So you get nice clothes. Cannot resell these without raising suspicion. So you get a really nice corporate outfit, but you can't sell it. What am I on to? Teamwork rank 2. Access to one of the company's corporate con apps. Alright, so you start at rank 4. So you get the clothes. Con app apartments. As long as they remain a member of the corporation, they can stay there without paying any rent or other fees. Still buy own lifestyle. You're paying for food and upkeep, makeup, clothes, stuff like that. If you leave to join another corporation, they will extend that same offer and pay to move all their stuff to an apartment. So if you switch sides, they'll move you over. Corporate housing improved to a Beaverville house in the executive zone if you get up to rank 7. Okay, so rank 2 you get the basic con app. And then rank 7 and rank 10. Corporate housing improved dramatically. To McMansion, luxury penthouse, you get good stuff. Rank 6, gain trauma team silver coverage paid for monthly by the corporation. The exec leaves to join another corporation, they'll extend the same offer. Rank 8, corporation upgrades their coverage to executive. Starting at rank 3, so if you start at housing, trauma team insurance, okay. Starting at rank 3, the team gives the executive a team member. So it's starting at rank 3. So when you start at rank 4, since you start at rank 4, at rank 3 you get a team member. So you have like a secretary NPC, which, okay, so you get additional team member at rank 5, which is 1 rank up from the starting rank of 4, and at 9. Cap out as a total of 3. Okay. Okay, you get a roll from a special chart. You get chooses which class of team member they want, but their role determines stats, and team member HR hires for them. So you get to pick what kind of PA or secretary or whatever you get is, but it's a crapshoot of how well they do at their job. They vary distinctly. These NPCs vary distinctly. Do not get to level up. Them and heal like their player characters do. Do not get level ups. Controlled by the GM, they're NPC. And the ability to fall in order depends on their loyalty and the ability to make a loyalty check. So if you want them to do something, basically they need to be a specific number of loyalty, and they have to roll. You have to roll essentially and see if they're actually willing to do that for you. I feel like it'd be really easy. The DV on that probably depends on what it is exactly. With very basic level stuff, you don't even have to roll for. You seem like okay, well, I guaranteed to make it anyway, so don't even bother rolling. Cannot wear armor other than light armor jack. Company policy. Can't get them out. If a team member is large, HR will repossess their equipment and replace them during the next game session. New hires, new stats, but their starting loyalty is reduced to 1. They're about what happened. Additionally, what costs an exec? Basically, you have to funnel over 200 EB in bribes to HR to get you, like, they'll find someone else for you, but you have to cough up some funds to get the paperwork expedited. I bet if you refuse, it probably takes like 3 game sessions before you get someone new. So, something like that. I would impose that as GM, like, okay, if you can't cough up the bribe, you'll get one, but it's going to take a while. Not mindless drones. They do the tasks given to them by the exec based on their loyalty to the boss, or the paycheck they sign for them. Loyalty is a shifting value. An exec must, during every game session, do things to promote loyalty and not lose it. Um, so it's max time between the sessions, but during game session, if you're really nice to them, the loyalty goes up high. And that's given the team member by execs. GM must roll a d6 under the team member's current loyalty. So if the loyalty is higher than 6, you're fine. If the save is failed, the team member may refuse or botch the assignment or otherwise turn on the exec. If loyalty drops below 0, the team member will actively attempt to betray the exec to their enemies. At the end of a session, team member has less than 0 loyalty, they will complain to HR and receive a transfer or quit upon having one refused, depending on HR's whims. Either way, they are gone. And they may or may not get you another one, depending on if you're willing to cough up some bribe money to grease the wheels. Okay. Compliment. So you can't use it too much, but if you give them a few compliments, it goes up. Bonus. If you slip them another extra $200 bonus, that definitely bumps loyalty. Support them against management. 20% cut of earnings is, if you agree, alright, I'm running a side job, you get 20%. I'll give your loyalty plus 6, which is basically, I guess the DM could put a penalty on the loyalty roll, like a plus whatever, based on what you're asking to do. Risk physical harm. So yeah, if you take a bullet for him, it's a plus 8. If you agree to let them have a game session off of PTO to go do whatever, that's a plus 6 for next time, but I mean, yeah, you lose them for the game. So, if you don't gain any, you get a -1 just because of atrophy. If you chew them out, that's -2. If you ignore their contribution to a job or forget their birthday, it's -4. Lie about giving them a bonus or perk promised. Throw them under the bus. Abandon them under fire. Yeah, that makes sense. Creating team members. Decide what your team member's job is. If you want, you can also pick a cover job for them as well. You might want people to know you got a covert ops specialist or net runner on the payroll. D6 and read across the corresponding rows. Yeah, don't forget to determine the HP, mortally wounded, death save values. So, yeah, you cross-correlate how much HP they got. Do not need to lower the amp due to humanity loss from cyberware. That's already been factored in. Oh, lovely. That's good. Cyberware and gear. These are standard package provided them by the company. Okay, so whatever basic. Roll a d6 and add 1 to starting loyalty. Alright, so you got a covered bodyguard who is protection in dangerous situations. So they got a bunch of skills, and handful of cyberware and gear. Light stub jack, light armor jack, very heavy pistol. Okay, so I basically got a gun and some armor and an agent, like a phone. Okay. Then keeping the X from getting their hands dirty. So covert operative is just, they'll do shooty stuff, dubious legal shooty stuff for you. Yep. Assuming their loyalty is high enough. Oh, they know how to drive too. Got a radar sonar implant, cyber audio internal agent, homing tracer, and a radar detector. And they get some of this. Okay. Netrunner. You get information gathering, net running. Okay. So basically, if I were to create an exec character, I'd give them one of these. They get netrunner stuff, Neuralink, chip sockets, paint editor, interface plugs, sidebars. Armor, 7 slot with a bunch of stuff in it. Very heavy pistol. Okay. Technician. To repair gear and weapons, you can get a repair guy. Okay. All right. Yes. Backup in action. Slack is a rank 4 lawman, so it's basic starting out, working the midnight shift. He gets pinned down by a booster gang and calls for backup using his action, rolling a 4 onto the d10, which is success because the result is his rank or lower. Rolls a d6 to see how many rounds it will take for backup to arrive, and rolls a 6. Not only does it mean that in 6 rounds backups will arrive, but it also that instead of 4 local beat cops responding to backup from one backup tier higher, um, 2 heavy firepower building county mounties will arrive. He takes cover and prepares to hold until the cavalry charges the rescue. Alright, so you get, okay, roll abilities backup. Can I call a group of fellow law enforcers based on the lineman's backup rank, and the condenser under which he call is made. The backup will be armed and armored based on the table below, and will be played by the DM. So yes, you get, backup. Get to a firefight. Um, 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 You can call on your backup from group for your backup rank or lower. As an action, you can attempt to roll equal or lower than your backup rank on a d10 to get someone to respond to your call. If you abuse this, your boss will throw you off the force or fine you as they see fit. So you can't abuse it too much. After someone responds to your call, d6 to find out how many rounds your backup will arrive in the scene. If you roll a 6 on this roll, instead of your typical backup, backup arrives will be of the next highest level of backup, unless you're rank 10, in which case 2 separate backup groups will arrive. If nobody responds to your call, you can always try backup again next turn. Alright. Bleh. Alright, let me... fudge. Okay. Let me put this up. Okay, page back. Okay, let me do this. Okay. Boom! Hello, hello. I am back. Hi. Welcome back. I'm back. Still Lee. I have changed shirts. Why, you ask? Well, because have a day job and I have to get... I can't wear long sleeves when I'm standing up in the tower. I have to... It's hot. It's too hot to wear long sleeves in the work because of how things go, so we're doing this. Yes, because I realized that we're getting close to where I have to end the stream, but, alright, so, backup ranks, yes, you can, if nobody responds, you can try it again as many times as you need, but that, makes it take longer, and, skill base for use for both offense and defense. Number combine both stat and skill for them. You will add d10 to this value whenever attacking their carried weapons or equipment defending. They can't dodge. Well, it's okay. Stopping power in the armor, hit points, and stopping power is armor and HP. Okay. Movement body, important for movement and for some reference, like death saves. Okay. Ranks 1 and 2, you get 4 local rent-a-cops on the scene arriving on foot. They carry heavy pistols and wear Kevlar. Okay. Rank 2 and 3 and 4. So that's rank 2. So if you're just starting out in Little Man. 3 and 4, 4 local beat cops arrive. 2 compact ground cars. Carry heavy pistols and armor in Kevlar. Okay. But they have slightly better shooting skills and they're slightly more HP, slightly better at moving and such, and they have cars with them. So that's what you get. Basically, you get 4 local. Okay, 5 and 6. 2 local county mounties patrolling the exurbs and the highways around the city. They will arrive on high-performance ground car armed with heavy pistols and assault rifles. They have actual armor. There's 2 of them, but they have actual armor and better guns and, yeah. And rank 8. Yes. So you get 1 kind of badass marshal. Rank 9. You get 2 heavy hitters from the Psycho Squad. Assault rifles, rocket launchers, Metal Gear, who have flight capabilities. So they'll drop 2 Psycho Squad members. If you're rank 10, I think 10 is the highest rank you can get in anything. Serious hitters, National Law Enforcement, Interpol, FBI, Netwatch, underkilled national governments or international law enforcement groups. They travel in pairs, arrive in an AFU-4, are outfitted with very heavy pistols. Yeah, they'll help. They'll kick around after the fight and help with investigation. Yeah, they'll once you get this too, they'll kind of keep an eye on you, and they'll be, as long as nothing goes wrong, they'll treat in you. Well, so this is then they'll kind of attach to you for the remainder of the job until you figure out what the heck is. Common numbers for these skills: accounting, acting, reveal object, criminology. So they education, forgery, interrogation, paramedic, perception. So they have personal resist, stealth, and tracking. So they can, these are professionals who have a slew of skill sets and will help you out with other stuff besides just showing up in case you need that. Okay, so operator is the fixer role ability, but it needs 316. All right, well let's see. Operator, what is that? Okay, there's operator and then moto, which is the. Let's see. Know where to get things on the black market and are adept at navigating complex social customs of the street, where hundreds of cultures and economic levels collide. Fixers maintain vast webs of contacts and clients. Who the fixer can be out to in order to source goods, favors, or information. Still have to pay for these, but they have sources. Highest price category that the fixer can always source, or if they can use their influence to gather other fixers into creating a night market, which makes all price categories of items available to them for a short time. Haggle's the ability of fixer to strike a deal. On haggling person, it's cool plus trading skill plus your operating rank, operator rank, which is roll plus d10. Against the other parties, same thing. So opposed roll. If succeed, you can make 1 deal of your operator rank or lower. Only 1 fixed deal can be made per transaction, so you can get a knockdown on the price or a boost on the goods. Grease represents fixed ability to blend into the many cultures on and off the street, ability to know the language, social codes, and status markers for each group's culture. So they know the local gangs in the immediate neighborhood. Okay, 10% more off the. Okay, so haggle. If successful, 10% when buying or selling. Reach. Always find a place to cheapen everyday items for clients on a piece-by-piece basis, even if they are otherwise unavailable. Cheapen everyday stuff usually isn't unavailable, but sure. Okay. So you can get local honcho, gang lords, local neighborhood leadership. Okay, so city gangs, minor politicians for 3 and 4. So 4 is where you start. If it's a reminder. 1 and 2 is more for multi-classing. Corporate execs, well-known persons in the neighborhood. You can always find place to source expensive items for your clients on a piece-by-piece basis, even if they're otherwise unavailable. Buy 5 or more of the same item, you can get 1 more for free. So yeah, you can get a haggle. If you're buying 5 or more, you can get 1 more for free. Greece. You know how to get along with at least 1 other culture in your area, as well as gaining a single language you don't already associate with that culture at skill level 4. Okay. Um, your operator rank or lower, so you can take 10% off or get an extra bonus 1 6 for 5 deal. So yeah, 1 your or lower. Okay, 5 and 6. You got major city players, City Polico, neighborhood celebrity. Once per month, you can set up a night market. While at night market, you have it organized. You can always find a place to source super luxury items, but you have to do the whole once. You can get super luxury items once a month, and always expensive, cheaper every day. Yes. Per pay, so you can get the pay up. Per person for a job up to 20%. That's pretty cool. Um, let's see, or take 10% off the price, or 5 or 6 deal. If you know how to get along with 2 additional cultures, 3 in total, in your area, as well as a single language you don't already know associated with each culture at skill level 4. So you get 2 more languages. Operator 6 and 7, local court president, mayor or city manager, local celebrity. Very expensive items for your clients on a piece-by-piece basis, even if they are otherwise available. If successful when buying a luxury or super luxury item, you can pay half now and half in 1 month. If you ever don't pay the second half on time, nobody will do this deal with you again. So you got to pay up. You know how to blend in with 3 additional cultures, 6 in total. Single language, which you already associate with each culture, so 3 more languages. Number 9. Division Corps heads, state or state zone politics, well-known celebrity. You can always find a place to source up to luxury items for your client on a piece-by-piece basis, even if they are otherwise unavailable. When you set up a night market, you can choose additionally set up a midnight market inside it, which gathers leadership of the criminal underworld. Ooh, all right. 20% or more or less than market price when buying or selling. So 20% more when selling or less than buying. If you know how to blend in perfectly, not only many cultures in your area, but also corporate and government agencies. Major world leader, corporation head, world famous celebrity. You can always find a place to source up to super luxury items for your client on a piece-by-piece basis, even if they are otherwise unavailable. I think that's the highest rank, so you can find anything piece by piece. At least you can find at least one of anything, even if they're otherwise unavailable. Negotiate double pay per person for a dangerous job. You can blend in seamlessly with any group, including very specialized or tight groups such as secret societies, cults, or exclusive membership groups. Difference between most people, nomads. Nomads have better cars. Nomad is moto. Yeah, so it's what kind of vehicles can you get? Alright, so I think that we're also at 3:20, and I have to be on the bus at 4, and, yeah, which means I need to be at the bus stop by 4, which is, assuming that the bus doesn't come early, which, so I should probably be there a little before 4, just to make sure. But I do appreciate you guys coming and hanging with me. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Alright, thank you for all coming. I know it was kind of boring, and I'm sorry it broke halfway through. It's what it is. I'm doing my best here. This computer is not what it's cut out to be, but we're making it work. Okay, so thank you all for hanging out. What are we doing? Thank you for hanging out. Appreciate you all. You're cool. Take care of yourselves. It's hot out. I know most of you are probably in the northern hemisphere. Given, if you're in the southern hemisphere, stay warm. Sweater weather down there. Lucky bastards. Have fun with that. And wear gloves and stuff. But if you're in the northern hemisphere like me, global warming. It's hot. It's too hot for existence, and it sucks. Just try to stay cool. Heat exhaustion is no joke, I promise. So sun is also a big thing, so you want extra clothing, protect from sun, but also you don't want extra layers for sweat, so light clothing, get what you can. I know it's a pain in the ass to source things, but just try, okay? Try to stay cool. It sucks. Thank you all for coming. Try to stay cool. And tomorrow is Greyhawk Day, which I will be better on time for, closer to 1:30, because that's important. Greyhawk's my big one for the week. The other Tuesday and Thursday are just kind of chill streams with whatever. If you have any suggestions on the Greyhawk, you're like, hey, you want to pop on the Discord? If you want to be like, hey, you really should stream about this tabletop RPG today thing, and I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, sometimes on Tuesday, Thursdays, I just kind of go with it. I've been doing a lot of Cyberpunk Red because I agreed to run a game for a con, and I'm not incredibly familiar with the system, so I'm trying to bone up on it, but whatever, I'm willing to detour into fun other stuff. Honestly, I might do a steampunk one on Thursday, depending on this cool steampunk thing my friend created. So we shall see. Otherwise, it's gonna be more cyberpunk red unless we have a really good suggestion from the Discord or from chat even. Yeah. So thank you for coming. You guys are awesome. We're gonna raid somebody. Who are we gonna raid? You might ask. Well, let's see what we got. Options. Let's see our options. Following Epic Duck. We got writers. Quincy's Tavern is always fun. Brushfire. We got a couple artists doing artist stuff. Oh, Mace Trainer Liam doing Pokemon. Always fun. Sable. Okay, Sable's live. Battletech, Mercs, and okay. Jamie. Oh, Jamie Daggers. Ramus. Oh, okay. Yeah. So we got Ramus, who is also an artist and really cool. We got Jamie, also an artist. We got cute cat videos. We got. All right. Yeah. The writer Ricky. I don't know what. Playing some sort of card poker thing. All right. Maybe not. Let's go with Sable. I mean, we haven't raided Ramus in a while. I'm gonna raid Ramus, because I haven't raided in a while. Battletech, and Battletech's fun, so let's go and raid Battletech. Let's do that. Yep. Alright, off we trot. We're gonna go raid Ramus. Painter, he's cool. He's beard braid. That's fun. Yeah, we're just gonna pop in and say hi. At least pop in to say hello. I don't know, you don't have to stay if it's not your vibe, but like pop in. Painting minis, they're fun. Just pop in and say hi. Alright, let's go. Ready?